Forever. Come on, baby, light my fire. Ready for the show. Now I feel your love desire. Please don't ever go. I don't care, I'm so excited. Now I feel so free. Paradise into your eyes, so let it be. All the time, I need your shiny smile. Tonight I'm really gonna play. You know that life is just a game. Forever young, we're all for one. Forever love and fun, until the morning sun. Forever.
Welcome to Fate Prism, my amalgamation project that everybody seems to be having fun with so far. This is session number 2 officially, still taking part at the tail end of day number 1.
Yippee.
Woo!
So to quick recap, you guys have obviously arrived on the island, you found the desert and met several people, mostly Conroy, and you went to the satellite and met several people, mainly Miranda. And I understand there's been some mixed feelings about that one.
It's been a lot of different emotions about Madame Miranda.
I'm sure there
Oh,
are.
100%.
Alright. So while you guys were doing that, Chimo was off checking out the Thunder Force office and trying to see if she could apply or see what was going on there. And she was told there was going to be open tryouts. So that's probably what she's going to be doing for the day. But in the meantime, when you three came home, you noticed that your living room was basically ransacked by a very obviously upset chicken.
You know, it occurs to me at this moment in time that I've never actually owned a pet before. I didn't think about this being a possibility.
Well, there's also another thing you didn't think about. This chicken's been at home for probably 24 hours now, and nobody's really thought about how to feed it.
Oh, dear God.
We got some rations in the bag here. Surely I can just peck at one of these.
Let me do a
I
quick...
mean, it ain't tasty.
Well, let me do a quick roll and see if there's anything in there that the chicken can eat. Oh, yeah. That's a good roll, actually. So, inside your bag, you do find some basic things like seeds, dehydrated
mix,
fruits, sunflower seeds, dehydrated fruit chips, things that any herbivore-style animal can eat. And there's even some pieces of shredded meat that, while may not be healthy for a chicken, they can at least stomach.
Alrighty, trail mix in the bag. Let's go.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
I
the
hope
second you pull that bag out, your little chicken friend suddenly just goes right for you. Apparently, it was frustrated and pissed off that it hasn't eaten anything in a day.
I'm just... Is it... Okay, when you say come at me and go for the bag, is it aggressive, or is he going to be kind of chill about it?
He's being, like, semi-chill about it. He's not, like, climbing all over you, but he's hopping at the bag because he recognizes the food in the bag, and he's clearly hungry.
Oh yeah, my bad, brother. You ain't eating. Hold on a minute. Let me come over here and get a bowl. Barry's gonna go to the kitchen, get a bowl, and just dump the trail mix in the bowl, put it on the floor.
And he immediately dives right into that food. He is devouring every morsel in that plate, in that bowl.
I hope that's all safe for chicken's consumption.
Well, let's see. Trail mix is usually a mix of nuts, fruits, veggie chips possibly, maybe even some yogurt chips, which is in and of itself dairy and fruit. I believe that's still safe for the chicken, but when you come back, you might have more chicken poop to deal with.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, like... You guys think we could train him to use a litter box?
Maybe. There's also the possibility you could just get him like an indoor-outdoor chicken coop or something.
This is true. We might need to also... We could put in a doggy door for the chicken.
That might not be a bad idea.
Just make sure you fence in the yard.
Alright, well, on the upside, he devoured that food in probably 2 minutes, which would be enough time for you guys to clean up his mess. And now,
Which
Barry's
is
gonna,
what
Barry's gonna
Joseph
do
would
most.
do.
right,
Yeah.
Joseph will take care of
Barry's
the
gonna
mess.
try and do the majority of the work because he's the one that was very adamant about keeping Sunny.
Fair enough.
So he's trying to be responsible.
Of course, of course. And I guess Ignis would try to find a way to help deal with the smell. Alright, so now that that's happened, that is when Chimo walks around the corner, I suppose. Let's see what she has to
there
say.
you are.
Let's see what she has to say. Now, to be clear here, Zivith has an easier time typing than he does speaking. That's mainly the reason he hasn't been talking very much, and by extension, Chimo hasn't either. Chimo arrived at home wanting to prepare for the trial and sees the chaos in the living room with the chicken eating out of the bag. Guys, I got good. What the hell happened here?
Well, Chimo, you see, what happened was apparently none of us know how to take care of pets. But we love
Barry doesn't. He's the one who wanted the chicken.
I mean,
Well,
if you knew, you
but
could have
this-
told me before we left the home.
Regardless, we went around the city to see what was up,
Oh
and
boy.
we discovered a whole lot.
Yes. Oh, Chimo, by the way, how you like the new threads? I went clothes shopping today.
I told you guys yesterday to feed him while I'm away. She seems to be upset before she runs over and hugs the chicken. Poor thing, have they let you starve? And when she picks up the chicken and hugs it, he actually looks like he's half falling asleep already because now he's got a full stomach.
Now, I don't remember you saying that, but if you did, my bad. I'm gonna remember from here on out.
We'll just say
That's
she
because
did
she d-
offhandedly.
You know what? It was
I was
probably
about-
during the whole coffee debate. Actually, no. Chimo was already gone by the time we had the coffee debate.
Yeah, like, when did she say this?
Let's say that she offhandedly mentioned that the night you guys got there and were so tired that hardly anybody was paying attention. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, the good news is your chicken seems to be fine. The poop was relatively easy to clean, and most of the scratches and peck marks are service level stuff, like stuff you can clean up and make look decent again in a few minutes with just a few minutes of furniture polish or just rubbing it out. You know, kind of like a dent in a car. It's easy to fix.
Yeah. It'll buff right out.
Exactly. So, now that that's been established, Chimo, were you going to tell them about your good news?
And the typing begins once again.
Nothing wrong with it, honestly.
Yippee.
You know, all things
Nothing wrong
considered,
with it, yeah.
Zip is actually pretty quick on the draw when it comes to typing.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I
so
was-
basically the
sorry.
opposite of me. Got it.
I can only type with 2 fingers, but I'm still able to hit with 45 words per minute, thankfully.
Oh
I've
dear
never
God.
actually- I've never actually measured my typing speed. I should probably do that one of these days.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. They've got those testing programs on most computers nowadays.
Might be fun just to see where I'd stack up. I'm kind of just self-taught. I was, pointer, because I mostly just grew up one pointing finger.
Yeah, that's basically
on
what
the-
I
on the
do.
key, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you do
But,
the hunt and peck
I just-
like I do.
Well, I used to do that, but then I got really good at it as I grew up and started using more fingers.
Anyway, I might be able to earn money for us if this works out. I signed up for the Thunder Force trials, so better wish me good luck or we are homeless soon, when we don't earn anything for how much we've already spent. And she just looks at Barry.
Hey, you don't know how much I spent. As Barry, glances over to his bag of all the rest of his clothes shopping. You don't know how much I spent. It could have been very cheap.
Oh, apparently some of you are quiet on Ziv's end.
Well,
Barry
he can
has to
adjust
keep
the
his...
volume on us.
Yeah, Barry has to keep his volume low because his family is asleep in the next room. But as for the rest of us, you can go ahead and just turn up our volume a little bit if it helps.
Yeah, you're gonna have to crank the volume for me. Sorry.
Yeah, I've actually got
Joseph-
I've actually
much.
got Atlas cranked to 200% so I can hear him as clearly as I can.
Yeah.
Joseph looks
I just need a
between
better microphone.
Joseph looks between Barry and Chimo. The Thunder Force, the police force here, policing was not really my cup of tea, but there's more to it than being a magical badass. Speaking of which, I think maybe I could be a doctor around here. if they have the positions opened.
So, Chimo, where are you going from here? Are you going to go ahead and head out, or? Okay, apparently Chimo has decided to go into her room to prepare and took the chicken with her.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
what?
isolating
Fair
the chicken
enough.
to a single room is not a bad idea, because it minimizes the damage as compared to the entire living room.
This is true.
True.
This is true.
Alright, well, we'll say she takes 5 or 10 minutes to get herself ready in whatever it is that she's planning to do, and what do you three do while she's doing that? Have you settled on following her? Are you going to try and do something else?
We did say that we were going to go with her to see how she does.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask politely in character, but she done went off to her room and took Sunny.
She seems like the type to not
Yeah.
care if you guys follow her, so...
She doesn't care about much at the moment, I will admit.
Alright, so... let's say Chimo has gotten ready in the next few minutes. You guys discussed that you're going to tail her and see what's going on with the Thunder Force office. And you guys go ahead and head out for the evening phase of the day?
Yes, sir.
That good with you, Ziv? Alright. You guys arrive at the Thunder Force branch office within a relatively good amount of time. It's over in the Essentials District, which is a bit of a trek, but when you arrive, the 2-story precinct building looks relatively basic. The bottom half made of stylized brick and the top half basic concrete. There's no hanging sign like some of the other businesses and buildings that you've been up to this point, but you do see a few Thunder Force officers walking in and out of the main doors, as well as a line of normal people who all seem a bit excited.
Man, this is a surprising turnout for Thunder Force trials. I wouldn't figure they'd have too awful many.
Now, Akarui did say that
Yeah.
they have tryouts like once a week these days, so...
You know what? He did say that during the whole discussion.
Take it from
about,
me.
Marauders.
Take it from me, police force and military. They know exactly what to say to get you interested.
Barry kind of does a giggle. Just that's kind of what led us here in the first place, if you really think about it.
It is, actually.
Hence why I'm skeptical about them, but there's more reasons than just them doing all of that.
So, would it be fair to assume that you guys just walk right in together?
Well, I mean, if there's a line, we'd probably have to wait in line.
Well, when I say a line, I mean like there's just a bunch of people waiting outside in a line. I didn't mean there was actually a physical queue. That's on me, sorry.
Okay. There's just a bunch of people milling about as opposed to...
Waiting in line,
RP.
RP.
Yeah, sorry.
Joseph becomes the grumpy grandpa.
You mean he's not already?
Okay,
Are you
he's
always-
he's old, but he's not a grandpa per se. But at this moment,
I mean, yeah, let's be real. You'd probably be a great grandpa by this point.
Every line needs a Karen. Oh, God. Oh, God. No. Do not be that. Do not let Chimo be that Karen. Do not let Chimo be that Karen. That's all I ask.
oh my god, I now have the mental image of
Thank you.
Joseph and Barry
Thank
at
you.
McDonald's. I have the mental image of Joseph and Barry at McDonald's, and Joseph is just the shouting Karen like, he asked for no pickle.
All right. Let's say you guys all went inside together at the same time. Inside, there are several more officers with clipboards in hand, all talking to a group of a dozen or so normally dressed people in the center of the room. And it's a bit hard to see, but the inside of the building is mostly a circular, square-like hallway of closed doors, each of which have silver signs on the front of them posting what exactly they are. You see the bathrooms, the private offices, the interview areas, the evidence lockers, all the stuff you expect to see in a traditional police office. But in the back, there's a group of 3 officers that spot your group, all of whom approach you rather quickly. One of them you recognize as Commander Harkin, but the other 2 you don't. The first one is a human woman with tightly brown hair and a bun, her silver name tag reading Jensen. And the second one is a Gila monster man about her height, his hair jet black and cut tight to his skin, his silver name tag reading Valios.
A Gila monster. Nice pull. I like that.
Hold on, what?
A Gila monster.
It's a venomous type of lizard.
It's a large reptile native to Africa.
Okay, I didn't know about that, but venomous lizards just always have crazy ass names.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, Gila monsters are cool as shit.
I tried my hardest to get as many cool species in on this game as I possibly could. Like, nearly every NPC I designed is a different species of animal, insect, or something else. I am proud to say that there's over 100 different NPCs of 100 different species.
Listen,
Dear
all I'm gonna
God.
say is if we don't meet a single crustacean, I'm going to riot.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I will riot. I will start overturning tables.
Now, Harkin approaches you first, crossing his arms, eyeing you all up from behind his tight sunglasses, and then immediately locks eyes with Chimo. Wait a second. You were here earlier this afternoon, and the rest of you were from that Marauder incident the other day. It's good to see you all. It's good to see you all in our office. Do you plan to try out, or were you just here to watch?
We were just here to
Joseph-
cheer up for having Chimo on.
I am also rather curious to see how the police of this city train one of their own.
Well,
What is it? What? It isn't every day I get to see other forms of combat training besides what I had to go through.
well, that's a bit of a shame. We are always looking for promising new recruits, and he pauses and looks to his left and right. It occurs to me none of you have been introduced to my companions. Allow me to introduce us officially. I am 3rd Commander Harkin. This is 2nd Commander Valios, and 1st Commander Jensen.
Well, lovely to meet y'all. Barry will put his hand up to put his hand out to give the classic Barry handshake.
All 3 of them
Hey, Diggs.
extend their hands to shake each of your hands individually, and Harkin takes yours and doesn't seem to flinch on your extremely powerful handshake. Chimo greets Harkin directly. Don't worry about them. They're just here to pray that I do this right and we don't end up homeless if I don't get the job.
You say that like you're the only one who's gonna get a job, Chimo. Just because we're exploring the city first doesn't mean we don't plan to work.
We've been here like a full day, getting a job takes time.
And Harkin kind of smirks. Well, as it happens, we streamlined our job interview process to the point where we could get you in here within a week. The turnover rate for the Thunder Force tends to be somewhat high given the unfortunate circumstances involving the Marauder incidents lately, so...
I will say around this place, there have been 2 locations job-wise that I could perhaps do to help us out. The obvious one being the hospital, as I mentioned earlier, and 2, well, given my years, I could be a great history teacher.
Given your experience with the Marauder incident the other day, I can say for certain that if you need a decent reference, feel free to give me a call. I'll do what I can. Chimo chimes in. Alright, let's get started. We can talk more about this later. And Harkin agrees. He hands Chimo a slip of paper with the number 37. When your number is called, step out into the center and we will give you a chance to show what you can do. She takes the number and nods, waiting for hers to be called. Not even a minute later, the numbers start getting called, starting with number 1 obviously, and all 3 commanders turn toward the center, clipboards in hand. Harkin mutters to his associates, let's hope this group is better than last week's. Now,
Wait. What happened to last week's group?
Apparently they weren't that impressive.
Okay.
I mean, that's all you can really infer from that. Sorry, I can't give you any more. You weren't there for it.
You know what's fair?
The numbers begin getting called, and despite the lack of a frame of reference, you can see plain as day on all 3 commanders' faces that their disappointment is immeasurable and their day is ruined.
This ain't no wonder they have one every week. Then I don't hire nobody.
The attendees fumble with their guns full of blanks, they fizzle out on their magic demonstrations, and they jumble their words on the quick Q&A segments.
Joseph is just looking at these new recruits just fumbling with basic gun safety and all his other training, and he's just like, no wonder it takes once a week. Not everyone is cut out to hold a gun, let alone be a cop.
Now, poor Harkin looks so disappointed. He eventually turns around and walks out the building entirely, leaving Jensen and Valios to finish the evaluations without him.
Oh, no. He's done with this shit.
I mean,
That's messed up.
to be fair, if I had to look at some mid to awful demonstrations, I would do the same thing too. I would just leave.
Number
reasonable.
37 is called out immediately after.
Well,
And
you left right before the fun started.
yeah, apparently. Now, a shorter cat woman in full officer garb with a silver name tag stating Binks welcomes Chimo out onto the floor. Just like the others before you, we'll be judging you on several specific attributes of being a Thunder Force officer. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, Chimo
Yes,
also
I am.
has a pistol, doesn't she?
She sure does. Yes, I am. Alright, so here's how this is supposed to work. They test you on the three main elements of being a Thunder Force officer. Your first one being your physical specifications, your second one being your magical prowess, and your third one being your verbal skills. So first off, I want you to pick either fight, shoot, or stealth, and give me a roll to see how well you demonstrate that ability. If I recall correctly, Chimo has a +1 in fight. This
Yeah,
one
she
right
does.
here, just /roll.
Yeah, she does indeed have a +1 in fight.
True. This is very true.
Yeah. Okay,
There
average.
he goes.
So, you throw a punch at Binks's clipboard, which reverbs decently well off of it, demonstrating that you know how to throw a punch. A step above probably half the people who tried out. Next, you need to demonstrate your magical prowess, which requires either an academics, mana, or will roll. Given that academics is your +3 skill, I'm going to assume that's probably the one you're going to roll with.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say she's probably going to succeed this roll.
More than likely, but the dice do giveth and taketh away, so if you'd be so kind as to give me an academics roll.
Yeah, they giveth to Chimo and take away from everyone
Oh,
else.
dear God.
What did
Yeah,
I
see
just
what
say? What did I just say?
So, without using any mana to do this, you basically recite nearly every spell from level 0 to level 3 in the span of 5 seconds, showing you know how to use magic.
To be
And
fair, doesn't Chimo only know how to use space and ice magic?
she does, but she still knows the other spells. Academics is your basic book smart knowledge, so she would at least know the spells even if she can't use them.
Gotcha.
And now I need you to pick either an empathy, deceive, or rapport roll to demonstrate your verbal skills. If you don't have any of those, just make it a straight roll.
Holy shit, she does have a single point in rapport.
Oh, how about that?
I didn't know that.
Call the cat clickbait.
Alright, then give me a rapport roll and add a +1 on that.
Chimo is very well rounded actually.
That's... oh, mediocre. Okay.
Damn.
Well, you don't wow them with your ability to rally the people around you and demonstrate your ability to get the audience on your side, but you do show you at least have the ability to form complete sentences, which, given the 3 rhino dudes back there in the corner, is probably a step above them.
Not the worst.
Yeah. Alright, it's fine. You actually still did pretty well, all things considered. None of your rolls were in the minuses, which is what I was trying to avoid. Once you finish, she scribbles down the information onto her clipboard. Thank you very much. Please step aside for the next entrant, which will be number 38. She steps aside. But the second you do that, you feel the ground under your feet rumble and hear an explosion just outside the building. Everyone in the room has frozen in place and is staring at each other in dead silence. And that's when Harkin runs back into the room a moment later, coughing up smoke and covered in debris. The Marauders are attacking the residential district. I pursued, but they outnumbered me. And he winces in pain, holding his left shoulder, which you can see is profusely bleeding.
Didn't we kick their asses just the other day?
We
not
only got
learn?
one group of them.
I guess more decided to show up.
Harkin stumbles in on his knees. Whoa, Harkin, what happened? That looks bad. And Jensen slides in right beside her and grabs Harkin's arm, putting her hand on top of his shoulder and casting a violet spell of healing magic. And then Valios steps out in front of everybody currently in the office. Attention, Thunder Force. Current and potential. The time to truly test your merit has come. All non-agents are temporarily deputized until this threat is neutralized. I am deploying you all to the residential district immediately. And he turns to look at your 4 group. That includes you. Get down and help however you can. If there are enough to outnumber Harkin, we need all the help we can get.
Told me twice.
Barry salutes and starts sprinting.
I'm pretty
Ignis
sure all of
falls.
you just start sprinting the fuck there.
Which one
Yeah.
has the lowest athletics? I probably have to carry someone.
But don't worry
Well,
about that. You all are just booking it. Now, when you reach the residential district, which, by the way, you can follow the explosions and the general sounds of metal on metal very easily, you see a few groups of marauders, about 20 in total, all laughing and swinging their weapons into whatever they can find. Car windows, mailboxes, light posts, everything breaks and they enjoy every second of it.
Alright, guess we gotta teach these idiots a lesson again.
Wouldn't it be new for me? I've been to New York before. Nothing but assholes there.
Chimo steps in and tries to get all their attention. Okay, guys, the fun is over for you. Now, the deputized officers arrive alongside your group, and rather than try any de-escalation tactics, they jump right into street brawls with the Marauders. There's actually about as many on both sides, barring one little group in the middle that you would easily assume to be the ringleaders, since they're all just kind of hanging out, leaning on the cars, and just watching all the chaos unfold.
Guess we found our leader.
Do you guys approach them, or do you join in the street brawl?
Hold on, wait. Can I do my thing?
Sure.
I would like to use my new stunt. So I have this funny stunt, as you know, Nanachi.
Yes.
Called Mystic Megaphone. I could pay 1 MP, one mana point, to project my voice way farther than it really has any right to. Really helps when you're in the middle of a ring and you don't have a microphone. Anyways, so I'm gonna spend the 1 MP. How much MP do I start with? It's been so long since we combat.
If you have a +1 in mana, you get 10 points to start.
Yeah, so I'm currently at 9.
That's fine.
And I'm going to point at the group of ringleaders like, listen up, idiots. You lot got one chance here. You take your boys, you get out of here, or we're gonna lay the smackdown on you. Make your choice.
Chimo thinks to herself while you're doing that, how annoying that I can't wipe them out with some star comets right from the start. That might destroy every building here and kill the officers. She goes through her hair thinking how to solve this issue. By the way, give me a rapport roll to see if there's any unique result that comes from this. And since this is
the
against
group
an audience
big
of +3, that means you do get to add a +2 to your roll.
Awesome. Yeah, that looks about right.
Average.
Okay, now hang on. What was your base plus on that?
So I have a +1 in my rapport, and then the +2 bonus for my Mystic Megaphone.
Okay,
for a
so
total
you ended up
+3.
rolling an average of +1, even though you had a +3 to start on that. That's fine, I can work with that. From behind one of the cars, you hear a familiar laugh, and see the same Ram Man waltz out into the open, waving that fancy short sword of his around. I was hoping I'd get to see you fuckheads again.
Oh great, it's
gotta
the
be
dumb
kidding
ram
me.
who can't Oh great, it's the dumb ram who can't even use his sword properly. Didn't we kick your ass last time?
Funny you mention that. He's still wearing bandages on his forehead, but otherwise he looks relatively okay now. But he points that short sword straight at the person who opened his mouth and said, "That was just a fluke. I'm kicking your ass whether you like it or not." And now that he's shown it to you again, you actually get a better look at the sword. It's not just a short sword, it is a sword that is short. Specifically speaking, and I should have clarified on this beforehand, I'm taking the opportunity to do that now. The sword itself is actually a stark white wakizashi, a Japanese-style short sword. It's not just a regular old-fashioned short sword.
Joseph looks at the sword. Ah, great. It reminded me of being on the battlefield against the Japs. And now you're getting cocky when I got several years of combat experience on you, kid.
Do you even know how to use that thing this time?
All I need to know is I gotta shank it right between your ribs. And Chimo starts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then.
good luck.
Chimo points and laughs at the guy. Look who showed up. The loser's back out of jail and wants revenge. He just smirks at her. Joke's on you, bitch. I never even made it to trial. And,
Oh, congratulations.
and now we can begin
Good.
combat.
Let's go.
Joseph will pull out his sniper rifle and say, Well, Laura, because the justice system couldn't detain him, he's my prey now.
Even in this very tense situation, Barry has to take a moment to double take. Just you named your gun? You named your sniper rifle?
And Chimo just responds, "You wish you would, because this time I'm going to make sure to leave you dead on the ground."
It's combat time.
Let's see.
No, this is great. This is exciting. I've been waiting to get back into combat in this system. I love fighting. That is not exclusive to Barry the character. That is true for Atlas Core the player.
Bro's gonna get ready to throw hands every chance he gets.
You right. You right.
All right. Click this link real quick and make sure it works. I believe I got the right one this time.
We look at us. Look at the boys.
I assume that this will be more than adequate for our purposes.
Yep.
Yep, I'm a fan.
Yeah, we actually have icons now.
Yeah, I took your guys'
Yeah.
advice and immediately went in on it, so...
Now we don't have to watch white blocks beating up each other.
Yeah, I figured this would be at least be a little better.
Yeah, now you have
Okay.
us beating up black blocks and a ghost.
Dude,
It's
that
like
was
checker.
almost bad.
Yeah, I realized it as the sentence was leaving my mouth, but it was too late.
It's fine. All right, so here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna make it so that one team goes and then the other team goes. And since you guys challenged them and are the aggressors of this, I'm gonna let you guys go first. So go ahead and roll your initiative rolls to see who goes first on your team.
And Ashi, real quick, what do we roll for initiative? Is that just a straight roll?
It's a straight roll, and if you have a big enough plus in notice, you'll actually have an additional stunt that lets you turn a minus to a plus on initiative rolls. I believe the only one who has that is Joseph.
Yeah,
I
because
am
it's
equally balanced, as all things should be.
Because it's advanced awareness.
Yep.
God damn it.
All right, so Ziv +2, Atlas,
You said
Barry.
you said it was just a straight roll.
It's a straight roll, and if you have a minus on your roll, you can turn one minus into a plus. All right.
Yeah, that effect makes it +2, so
Actually, that effect makes it a
goes
+3.
first.
That effect makes it a
Yeah.
+3.
Yeah. Well, I meant the effect itself would technically add a +2 because you're getting rid of a -1 and adding
Yeah.
a +1.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So the way this will work then is that Joseph will go first. Chimo will go second. Ignis will go third, and Barry will go fourth, and then your opponents.
Anyone got a sense of deja vu with this turn order?
Actually, come to think of it, now that you mention it,
I don't remember.
Joseph got high initiative last time during the training tutorial.
I when I was working, I watched like session 0, like the combat test session, like 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty sure this is not the exact same initiative, but pretty close. I think
Chimo
in the
did
last
go.
combat-
Chimo went last the last time.
Yeah, I think it was Joseph, and then Barry, then Ignis, and then Chimo, because I think it was me and Ignis that tied on initiative, and we had to do a roll off.
All right, well, now that we got that established, I know how to handle the villains, quote-unquote, on this end, so let's go ahead and get you guys started. First up, Joseph, what are you doing?
Joseph is gonna do what he does best and start blasting with his sniper rifle
All right.
at Lucky.
Oh, you're going to go straight for Lucky?
I mean, did he stutter when he said that Lucky was on his shit list?
You know what? Fair.
Let's go.
Now, that was just a standard bullet, I assume? No infusions or anything?
I will use the fire infusion.
Don't worry, Chimo. If you decide to ever up or gain notice at some point, you can push it up to where you get that bonus too.
Joseph just naturally has the notice because he's literally a sniper.
Mm-hmm. All right, so give me a shoot
'Kay.
roll, Joseph.
Alright, I have a +3 to that, so
Yep.
that will be fun. Modifier +3.
All right, you shot him with a +2. Let's see. Oh shit, you actually hit him. So you hit him, and he takes 3 damage from that shot.
Yippee.
Go ahead.
Right between your stupid mug.
And if Chimo could use fire spells, we could just all use fire spells and call ourselves the Fire Force.
That is technically
But then
true.
But then we get sued by the anime.
Then we get sued really hard.
Now,
Nanashi would lose his YouTube channel.
please. I already don't have monetization. What's left to lose? Alright, so that was your attack action. You still have your item use or your movement use. Will you be doing anything else like that?
Joseph will move over to D1.
Alrighty. Right there should be good. Alright, so that
And then
means...
that will be the end of my turn.
Sounds good. Next up then would be Chimo. What you doing?
Probably going to kill them.
Dude. Okay, you have 4 different spells in your listing that can do that. You could use your level 2 spell and do a line, or you can use a level 3 spell and hit a 3x3 grid.
Line. The line would hit all of them, but to be fair, so would the 3x3 grid.
Alright, are you using the white spell or the pink spell? Alright, she is casting a level 3 pink spell on all 4 of them. Give me an academics roll.
Incoming 4 pluses.
Okay, plus 3's not bad.
Close enough.
Holy shit, I think the bot is done being horny.
Apparently. Alright, that's not a bad roll. Let me do some rolls to see if they dodge. That one did not.
They don't.
That one did not. That one did not, and oh! So it looks like, Lucky did get hit by this spell as well, but number 3 was the only one who matched.
So if I remember correctly, he don't take the damage, but he still takes the status.
Correct. Which means on their next turn, they cannot use any reaction abilities, and they have to target Chimo.
Wait,
What?
I just had a thought. But I'd rather not say it right now.
Ziv, you said you want to move your character into position by moving her to the side of the field. Do you mean like over in square D4? Over to the bottom right? Upper D4, got it. Alright. Let's see. Who was next? That would be Ignis?
I'm just gonna move to C2 and that's it.
Just move to C2? Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and that leaves Barry. Where are you going?
So I wanna ask a quick question. Is drawing a weapon free, or would that technically be like an item interaction?
An item interaction would be like using something that requires some kind of activation or some kind of deployment.
But like,
if
if
you're
I
just
just
pulling
reach
out a
into my
weapon, that's
backpack-
nothing. That's free.
Okay, cool. So I'd like to spend my movement to move 1 space forward into C2.
C2?
Into C2. Yeah, I want to be in the same square as Ignis.
Okay.
Now I want to take a moment to address the audience. I, as a player, have learned and grown since the combat test session. I no longer have to do the tank walk of shame where I walk forward and do nothing. Barry is going to draw his handy-dandy shotgun.
Oh, right. You have that.
I forgot you bought one.
I didn't even buy one. The military just gave me one.
That is
Yeah,
true.
they also gave Joseph a shit ton of sniper ammo.
Yeah, you guys aren't probably going to have to worry about ammo for a while. All right, so
Yeah.
do you remember the physical
have to
range of that gun?
No.
All right, give me 1 second. I've got the weapon listing right here. That's a 2-handed weapon, which can use basic or spread ammo, and it's... Okay, you're basically firing slugs, so it's any range.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I could have swore it was guns that can kind of just target everywhere.
Most of them can, but there are a couple instances where they don't, and we're not going to get into that right now. We can cover that at another time.
Yeah. Alrighty. But yeah, just draw off the handy dandy sawed off shotgun.
You gonna do a standard shot, or you gonna infuse that shot?
I want to ask a question first. These enemies 1 through 3, what's their deal? Like, what can I see about them?
Give me an investigate roll.
Oh yeah, I will give you a straight dice roll.
I mean, if you're asking, you might as well.
Yeah. Well, it's just a joke because that's not a skill I have.
Oh, they look like
There are enemies there.
dudes.
There are enemies.
They look like
There's
dudes.
probably like one woman among there, and he still got that wrong.
They look like dudes and chicks. You could tell which one
Okay.
is Lucky. That's about it.
All right, fantastic. You know what? Lucky's talking way too much shit. I'm gonna shoot him. You know what? He's already on fire. If I had known he was doing combat today, I would have refreshed myself on the different statuses and stuff.
You could try and hit him with more fire, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, does that stack?
It does.
Oh,
But if you want to
Oh, you
just
know
pick a
what?
random color, go right ahead and see what happens.
You know what? Let's do something funny. I'm going to infuse it with blue water magic.
Oh. Okay.
Well, because see, here's the thing. The status specifically reads pull towards caster by one zone. I'm a melee dude. The shotgun ain't doing jack. Or they take 1 damage if something else is in the same zone instead. So he'll just either I pull him towards me, or I just
Have
slam
him run
into
into
enemy
dude
3.
3.
Yeah,
All right, give it a
that
shot.
is the plan. I can't wait to miss this roll because I have nothing in shoot. Hey Joseph, you might need to train me later.
Actually, okay, a 0 roll. That's not the end of the world.
Balanced is all things should be.
A 0 roll isn't necessarily the end all be all. Let's see what happens. Holy shit. So he ended up rolling an overall -1. So you hit him.
God. Let's go.
So he takes
Ideal
another 3
shotgun
damage. And do you yank him forward, or do you have him run into another dude?
I'm gonna slam him into enemy 3.
All right, well, as it happens, that dealt a grand total of 4 damage, and Lucky is already down. That,
Yeah, annihilated.
bear in mind that, like I said, he was looking better than he was, but he still had bandages on his head. I actually had to start him at this fight at half health because of how quickly you guys ended up going to the Thunder Force office.
That's hilarious.
Like, I
Also,
tried...
what you're implying is this was always going to happen the first time we went to the Thunder Force.
Pretty much. There was a chance that if Chimo went there on her own and you guys didn't go with her, she might have had to fight them all on her own. Let's be honest. Chimo with the AoE spells, she can handle an army on her own.
She still would have won.
Probably. Alright, so that means that... Yeah, exactly. Chimo's a boss, and she's proven it. So that means that Lucky is now gone.
Hold on. Can I yell at the dudes?
You absolutely can.
Okay. So I'm looking at you 3 right here. Let's analyze the facts real quick. Your boss just dropped like a sack of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You 3 haven't done anything yet. You could still run away, and I wouldn't be too awful pissed.
You know what?
It's your chance.
You know what? I'm going to give you a good opportunity on this. Please give me... what was your... I'm trying to remember. What was your roll on your last rapport attempt?
It was a total of +1, I believe.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for all 3 of them and see if any of them take the fucking hint. And also, please don't make Lucky a Team Rocket of this campaign. No, he will not be a Team Rocket, but I cannot say anything more than that.
Okay.
All right, let me
I
get some
scrolled
rolls
gonna
going.
be-
right here. That was a total of +1 on my rapport roll.
Now, you do have an extra feint point from what you did in the last session. Would you like to spend that and either add a +2 or try and make a better roll, or are you satisfied with that?
Honestly, you're right. I forgot I had the extra fate point that you gave me. I think I would like to take a rapport reroll.
Reroll? All right, give it to me.
Yeah. I mean, because surely I can roll better than 2 minuses.
Well, let's see it.
Sure. Would you, since it was pretty close together, would you still allow me to put my Mystic Megaphone modifier on it?
Yes. There are still 3
Okay.
people in front of you. It would still apply.
Awesome.
Oh,
Hey.
okay. You know what? That's a damn good roll.
Balanced as all things should be. All of my dice have been net 0. It's just my modifiers.
So, geez, let me do a couple of quick rolls here. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay. So, and then Chimo snipes them down with ice bullets out of her finger anyways.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to stop you. to.
No, she wouldn't.
Like, I'm not gonna take damage for these guys, but I will allow them to run away and attempt to be better people.
So enemies 1 and 2, which already got hit by a decent amount of damage already, decide, fuck this, I'm gone. So that's 2 more down already because of how well you rolled. However, enemy number 3, he looks pissed. And he's pissed at Chimo specifically.
I'd like to yell to the 2 that have taken the hint, be better people!
Like, I have to reward a roll that good. So now you got 1 enemy to deal with. And here's the cool part. Enemy number 3 is going to move 2 zones closer, and because he's under the influence of Starstruck, that means he has to go for Chimo.
2 zones closer?
Yeah, he has a +2 drive, which means he has 2 zones of movement.
I'm a damned.
And what he does is he pulls out a knife, and he... Let's see, what can he do? He pulls out a knife, and you see it glow a stark black. And he pitches it at Chimo as a ranged stealth attack. Now, Chimo, if you'd be so kind as to give me an athletics roll to try and dodge this.
Which is a +2.
Yeah, all things considered, Chimo really did gear her character out really well.
Yeah, like, Chimo is incredibly well-rounded. Like, she can fight pretty decently, her spellcasting's through the roof, she can talk to people almost as well as Barry can, because technically we have the same bonus to rapport.
Oh, okay. Well, let me see how well he threw that thing. Okay, he only rolled all minuses. Don't worry about it, Chimo. He missed.
That's amazing.
Like, my dice hate me today just as much as the bot hates you guys, I guess. Chimo just smirks.
Making a
Is that all you
documentary
got?
about bots.
And the guy looks kind of flustered, actually. And by the way, that knife that he threw, when it hit the ground, you notice that the grass underneath it withers a little bit.
Death magic.
Well, it's black, not gray.
Oh shit, gray was death. What was black then?
Darkness
What was
magic.
black then? You know what? That tracks. I know what? I should have seen that coming.
Speaking of seeing it coming, it's top of the round again. Joseph.
Joseph, kill.
Oh, right.
Sick 'em.
Sick of
Anyway, Joseph will move up to C1.
Oh, just moving up one?
Yep.
Chimo has asked you to allow her to finish this guy off, so here's the thing. I'm keeping track of your health. Even if you hit him with the hardest thing you got, he's not going to go down, so Chimo might actually get the chance to take him out again. All right.
Yeah, can we get others in the spotlight? That would be nice.
Yeah. All right. Joseph, what you doing?
Joseph is going to infuse his bullet. Because I could just spam fire on him, but
You could.
I was also thinking...
Well, what he more means is that you were in the spotlight because of just how fucking much damage you were doing to the enemy teams on the first fight. So, that's what he was implying.
I still can't get over how quickly Lucky went down. Just, I've got you this time. Boom, 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 down.
You hit the guy 4 times in a row. That's the cool part about this game. If you focus down on a single enemy and then do what you did to try and influence the fight, you can end fights much faster. It doesn't have to all be combat. Sometimes it just has to be good at talking. But what were you going to say, Joseph?
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with the fire infusion, and I'm going... is it just me, or did he not get the burning status effect from fire? Or
That
is
was
that just a
that was
rare
lucky.
thing?
That was lucky.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He went down before that
He
had a
didn't get a
chance to go
turn.
into effect.
The burning takes place the burning damage takes place on his turn. He did not get a turn.
Yeah, no, you took him down quickly.
Oh, because I saw him off the grid, and I was like, did he run away? What the fuck happened to
No,
him?
I just took him off the
No,
grid so you didn't have
he-
to worry about it.
Okay, so we just have to deal with enemy 3, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so Joseph will align his sights on enemy 3, aim and fire, and then I'm going to roll with my +3 modifier.
Oh,
That's a 5.
okay. Let's see how well he dodged. He rolled a +3, which means you do in fact hit, and that's a total of 3 damage plus afterburn. Starstruck is officially worn off.
And I watch it take place again.
All right, so Chimo, you're up.
Watch the effect take place again if he survives.
Get him, Chimo. Get him, Chimo.
Sorry, but you don't have a blue spell. You only have white.
Blue is water, white is ice.
Okay, making sure. All right, so you're going to hit him with the level 1, the level 2, the level 3. Okay, based on his health, I don't know if this will kill him or take him out rather, unless you hit him really hard. So let's say level 3 does the most damage. You can select exclusively enemies. How about a level 3 spell? All right, give me an academics roll.
Oh dear God.
Oh my God. Okay.
Joseph and Chimo are the MVPs with the amount of DPS. What the fuck?
All right, give me
Yeah,
one
I took
second.
out 3 people in 1 turn.
Yeah, give me one sec. Give me one sec. Let's see if he even survives. Because now we actually have a decent range. He might not make it past this one. I don't believe it. He rolled so badly, he entered double crit range.
Oh.
He rolled a -1. That's double crit range, which means double damage. That's 6 points of damage and 2 instances of frozen. How in
Don't
the
tell me
hell?
that's the entire fight.
Yeah, speed blitz the entire fight. Holy shit, you guys are... I'm actually a little bit upset. That fight was supposed to take at least another round, and you guys just demolished. Alright, so he's not gone, but good God, he looks like he's barely hanging on.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little disappointing that he didn't go down from that.
He should have, honestly, but he had just 1 point more than what was necessary, so if somebody wants to come in and, I don't know...
We're gonna kill steal from Chimo. If we kill steal from Chimo, she's going to add to her kill count with us. I feel like.
You know
think
what?
Joseph's afraid of that?
Okay, let me think. Whose turn was next? Ignis?
Ignis is next, yes.
Do you want to actually hit him even though he is so close to being knocked out, or do you want to just let him pass out?
You know what? I want to try to hit him. I haven't had a chance to finish off a single enemy. This is my chance.
You know what? I think we can let him have that. Give it a shot. What you doing?
Okay. I'm going to him, and I know it's gonna be a bit overkill, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna pull out my sword and infuse it with fire.
Here's the thing. He has to be in the same zone as you for a melee attack, and you're not.
You're too far away.
But you can still cast a level 1 fire spell.
Yeah, it says I can cast Torch for free with my flame tongue ability.
Is Torch the level 1 fire spell?
Yes. Torch is the level 1 spell, and that spell can be fired from 1 zone away.
I'm using that.
All right.
Do it! Do it! Kill him!
All right, let's see if it works, man.
Yeah.
And you're going to be casting this through your stealth, so give me a shot, see what happens.
Get him.
Okay, so that is a +3 on my stealth.
Oh.
Bruh!
Oh,
Jesus.
no.
Ignis is just not having a good time with this dice spot.
Ignis can't breathe fire. Ignis is having indigestion.
Well, he rolled a
It's that
plus...
burger.
Well, he dodged with a
It's the burger and
+2, so he did not get hit.
I have to scream!
Well,
It's the burger and fries. It gave you indigestion.
all right, so Barry, what you going to do?
Well, now that all that pomp and circumstance is out of the way, I'm going to take 1 step to the right to C3 with Ignis, and I'm going to blast the man with a shotgun.
You can give it a shot.
If you miss point blank with the shotgun...
Here's the
Technically, we're
thing.
not point blank.
Here's the thing. It really doesn't matter what you do because he's currently he's at 1 hit point. He's going to die no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, Joseph's just gonna finish the guy off, it seems.
Jesus.
How the hell?
All right. You missed, but here's the thing. You guys are all targeting him at the same time. You have turned his pissed offness and his fluster into straight up panic. I'm going to roll real
Joseph.
quick.
The icicles coming off of him are now yellow.
Yeah, no. He's running away. He's running away. He's done. He's pissed. He's terrified.
He's limping away.
Yeah, he is limping away. His left foot and his right arm are encased in ice. He cannot change his weapons. He is limping away. Oh, and
We all just.
since he ran away, the effects of Afterburn kick in. He takes a point of fire damage and flops on the field anyways.
I could just imagine him going to, like, I don't know, A3, and then just falling down.
You got what you wanted. He passed out. He hit 0 hit points. He's down.
I shouldn't have used that shotgun shell, but it was really funny.
Hey, it's fine, man. Don't worry about it.
It was really funny. That's why I'm okay with it.
Wow, he lasted longer than I expected before he passed out. I have to give him that.
Yeah, he wasn't looking too hot.
Alright, I'm switching the view back to normal. Okay, all things
Yay.
considered, that was fucking hysterical. You took out half the enemies by shouting at them.
Hey, you know, I gave them the option to be better people and leave this situation, and they took it.
Alright,
I'm upset that I didn't get that finishing kill. I am going to scream.
it's fine, man. You'll get other opportunities. There's gonna be more fights down the road. Hopefully they'll last a little
I
longer next
know.
time. Alright, so,
Ooh.
after the fight, the ram lies in a heap with not only the group that he fought you with, but also every other marauder in the area. The deputized officers are all fairly battered and banged up, but your side definitely won today. And despite their various injuries, they're all managing high fives and fist bumps with each other. From behind you, you hear a voice bellow out, "Thunder Force!" And you see Harkin, as well as Jensen and Valios, all lined up behind you. And all the officers turn around, the actual officers, I mean, all the other actual officers turn around and form a lineup, and the deputized officers join in to do the same, albeit with a bit of a sloppy follow-up, and, you know, the injury is keeping them from standing at full attention.
I suppose we should probably do the same.
You guys all joining in on the lineup?
We partook in it anyway, so might as well.
I think
Alright,
it's reasonable, yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, Joseph is gonna stand off to the side, having too many memories of the military days of this.
Harkin walks up, and he's got a little bit of a limp, but he's definitely looking better, and his shoulder is no longer bleeding. Officers, take these criminals in to be processed at the main branch. Deputized officers, stand by. All the Thunder Force officers step back in and start grabbing the defeated Marauders, and you see them disappear in the exact same electrically charged leaps that you saw before. And Harkin turns to everyone else. As for the rest of you, what I witnessed out there was sloppy, uncoordinated, and barely qualified as a victory. And everyone just looks depressed.
Yeah, wrong.
So when you don that uniform, I expect each and every one of you to be better than you were today. And everyone suddenly just goes like, what the fuck? We will be using today's fight to evaluate each and every one of you on top of your initiation attempts, so pay attention to your mail. You will each receive a letter within the week with your results. But regardless if you pass or fail, remember that on this day, you all fought to make Diadem better. And you are all dismissed. And all the people around you start cheering for themselves and each other before dispersing and walking away, but then Harkin turns and looks at your group specifically, not you. He ushers you all to
that
come
don't sound
toward him and the other two commanders. And Chimo just offhandedly mentions, well, this was fun at least to clap Lucky once again.
For a guy named Lucky, he's the most unlucky ram I've ever met, and I've met plenty of unlucky Nazis back in the day.
I don't think he's unlucky. I just think he's dumb. He keeps getting himself into these situations.
When you approach, Harkin takes a slow step forward. We saw what you all did. Out of all the people in this fight, you had the most coordination and most output of any of the people who attempted today. I definitely believe you have what it takes, and I think I speak for all of us when I say we want all of you to be Thunder Force if you're interested. You would start as an entry level, of course, but this will immediately qualify you for all employment perks. 25Z an hour income, uniforms provided for free, and access to our personal training grounds.
Joseph will just look up at Harkin and say, as much as I would love to put on a uniform again, I'm not exactly looking to be in a similar spot as the military once more.
That is your choice.
We'll all think about it, but there were 2 other professions I was more so interested in.
If you do those other professions as well as you do your fighting, I think they'll be happy to have you. In the meantime, wait a second. Harkin actually pushes past you guys and recognizes Lucky still lying there on the ground. Didn't we just book him the other day?
Literally yesterday, brother.
And he had the same short sword again. Definitely of Japanese origin now that I examine it properly.
Is that right?
What, is something up with the system that they just get let out?
I have a theory, but maybe it has teleportation or some bullshit. Explains how he got out of prison. Perhaps. We'll have his weapon taken into evidence and see if we can have it examined properly.
I mean, surely he didn't have the weapon when you imprisoned him the first time. How would he have teleported out?
I will also say, he had it the last time, stabbed it into the ground, and when you all came by, the weapon just disappeared. So maybe the weapon itself can teleport.
No, that was actually one of ours. We took it into evidence, and apparently he got it out before we could examine it the first time.
Well, you all were quick on that uptake.
We have to be. We're Thunder Force.
I mean, you've seen them run. I'm pretty sure they're quick with everything they do.
As a matter of fact, I have an idea. We might be able to put him away for a while, with your help. Given the circumstances of what just happened here, he is officially a repeat offender, not that he wasn't before, and therefore has earned an expedited trial. We might be able to get him in as early as today, if you're interested in volunteering as character witnesses. Or we put him away forever since I gave a promise, but I don't want to become a criminal, so it's your call, Mr. Harkin.
As much as I would love to break the dude's leg so he doesn't hurt anyone again, I feel like we have to follow your city's rules at this rate.
Then this is going to make everything much simpler. We do have a defined court system here, obviously. No police forces, anything without the law behind it. So if you 4 would be interested in volunteering a little bit of your time this evening, we can possibly get him into a court date today. All I need you to do is meet us at the main branch office and the courtroom adjacent to it. Would you be interested in doing that for us?
Joseph takes out his flask and takes a sip after pulling his mask up a bit, and then replies, well, we got nothing else better to do today for the rest of this day. We've already done practically everything we wanted at the moment.
He pulls out his own map and hands it to you because he can't hold it out properly himself, and points out a silver spot on the northeastern side of the rock wall around Diadem. There's a gate here that takes you to the main office. I'll meet you there.
Alrighty, I guess we'll start walking.
While you guys were talking, Jensen and Valios actually grabbed each of Lucky's arms and teleported him off, quote-unquote, in the same direction as the others. So you don't even have to worry about that, and they did take his weapon with him since you were so kind as to explain that it seemed to matter.
I'm just gonna get that sword out of my head. I need to know what that thing does.
So
I may
He couldn't
potentially.
do nothing, and Lucky's just an idiot.
Well,
Very
well,
well,
I mean,
lost his buddy.
If it turns out to be something, I want to steal it.
now, when you reach the spot marked on the map, it is another golden magic ring gate, this time with a silver magic wall looking like a disc with slow-moving electricity going across it.
Silver lightning magic. Shocking.
So do you guys just step on through it?
Ignis, I'm not throwing you through this time. This is actually kind of important.
Not taking a chance this time either.
Alright. Well, upon going through the silver gate, you are immediately bombarded by the stench of ozone, the sound of orders being barked, and the feel of faint rumbling of small explosions off to the side.
What would have happened if Barry did throw me on the other side?
Well, based on what you can see, he would have just landed on a pile of dirt in the middle of the small open area.
Okay, so not get caught up in the crossfire.
So behind you, the gate itself is bound to the middle support column of a marble staircase that leads straight up to a statue of a weight scale, one side holding a lightning bolt. And behind that statue is a massive marble-fronted building you recognize as probably a very generic-looking courthouse building. Off to your left, there's a tall fence, and behind it lies what might be the largest and most terrifying military-grade obstacle course you have ever seen. In front of you, you see an almost exact copy of the Thunder Force branch office back in Diadem, except it's much larger. And to your right, you see a plain grayscale brick prison building, surrounded by a very tall barbed wire fence filled with dozens of Thunder Force officers and people in orange jumpsuits.
This is a lot to take in.
Given the obstacle course comment, Joseph will just look at it and basically comment and note how it just in character that's supposed to be intimidating to them. That's basic training levels.
Well, now hang on, there actually is a bit of an expanded description since you looked at it. The inside does look a little bit more terrifying when you take a closer look, and it's split into 3 segments. The closest segment is an actual assault course, filled with climbing walls with ropes and window holes, barbed wire and pipes to crawl through, wood beams and planks to balance on, and apparently hidden explosive charges based on the smoke trails. The farther back segment, to the left, has a severely worn-out brick building used for simulated combat entry, several scorch marks and bullet holes sticking out like sore thumbs against its beige paint. And the farther back segment to the right is a massive outdoor gun range, but you do see spots for targets made of paper, wood, metal, and one that's just a giant thick steel plate with a fist-shaped dent in it.
Okay, now that I got a better description, Joseph will say something different. Christ. It reminds me of the first day we were taken in. They didn't hold off on any of the expenses.
Apparently not.
Before we go anywhere, Barry just wants to acknowledge in the gun range the giant steel plate with a fist imprint in it. I just want to look at that and just be like, I bet I could do that. I'm not going to test it right now, but I bet I could do that.
That might be a task for later day.
I will note, because it is a trait that hasn't really been able to come up much at the moment. Joseph will freeze due to shell shock at seeing the obstacle course because the memories are hitting him.
You guys decided if you're just going to go straight to the courthouse, you're going to explore a little more?
Well, weren't we told to like report to the main branch and then the courthouse?
You were. I'm leaving it up to you if you want to go there or wherever it is you want to go.
Well, I figure we probably ought to head inside the main branch office.
Yep.
If everyone agrees.
Oh, Joseph's kind of in his own little world at the moment, so if you can snap him out.
Oh, hey Joseph, wake up, or I'm just gonna pick you up and carry you. And I'm just gonna like pat him on the shoulders, like, hey, come on, I will carry you. I do not care.
Yeah, Joseph will snap out of his funk. A lot of members are just from saying something like this.
I was gonna get ready to smack him in the face.
And Chimo says, let's just meet up with Harkin. And much like the outside, the inside looks identical to the branch office itself, except significantly larger. The immediate entrance has a prep room on each side of the door, and in front of you is a service desk occupied by a leopard woman in a Thunder Force uniform with red hair and a bun and a silver name tag stating Liz. So this one's actually a little bit more organized than the other one. Past the entryway, you see a large open space filled with multiple doors on the left and the right, all surrounding a massive pillar in the middle. On the left, you see the bathrooms, the locker rooms, the break room, the training hall, and a doorway to the obstacle course you spotted outside. On the right hall is the 3 commanders' offices, a conference room, and interview offices. And in the middle, built into the massive support pillar, is the evidence room, which is very clearly locked and has somebody standing in front of it. So, when you approach and go inside, the leopard woman pulls up a clipboard. Can I help you?
Yeah, we're here about.
Arkham told him to meet him here, and then we head over to the courthouse.
Oh, you were the ones who I was warned about. Okay, so Harkin's injuries were a little bit more severe than we expected. He's getting treated back in our medical wing, so he'll meet you at the courthouse in a few minutes. Is that fair?
thumbs up.
Just so long as I can get out of this place.
Fair enough, I suppose. Just head back out the doors and back the way you came. It should be the giant marble building connected to the gate.
Thank you. You have a good one now.
You too. So, going to the courthouse now. Inside the building is a mix of white marble walls, bright red carpets, massive wooden doors, and silver flags scattered throughout, each one with the same weight scale holding a thunderbolt symbol as the statue you saw outside. And there are several people walking through the halls, most of which are either judges, attorneys, Thunder Force, or citizens being guided and spoken to by one of the prior three. And you were approached by a garter snake woman with brunette hair to her shoulder blades and a pale pink suit, her silver name tag reading Pamela. May I help you?
Yeah, we were just here to serve as witnesses in the hearing of one Lucky.
She pulls out a clipboard when you said you were here to talk about a potential case, and then she just stares at you when you said Lucky, and she sits down on the corner of a nearby desk. You're here about Lucky? He's been in and out of here so often he has a coffee mug with his name on it.
Yeah, we kind of got that impression.
Alright, I'll just put you on the list then. She asks for your names so she can scrawl them on her clipboard, and then she reaches over and pushes a button on an intercom box. Excuse me, ma'am, we have another group for the Marauder court case today, and they are here for Lucky. In a matter of seconds, a set of doors to the left burst open, and a frantic Jensen comes marching out and immediately stops, recognizing that it's you guys. You know, I really should have remembered that we asked you to come here.
Yeah, you know, no worries, it happens to the best of us. We forget what we're doing sometimes.
I appreciate that. Anyways, welcome to the temple.
The temple?
Yes, the domain itself is referred to as the temple domain, so we call this the Temple of Justice. It's where all of our law and legal operations take part, so we thought it was an apt name. I believe she mentioned you were here to testify specifically for Lucky?
Yep.
Well, I think you're going to be very interested in whom is handling those court proceedings. And speaking of, we should head in. I'll take you straight there. She brings you all the way back to the very back of the main hall to the last set of wood doors, which are taller than the rest of the doors in the entire hallway. She opens them up, revealing a fully wooden courtroom. Wooden rows of seating, wooden gateway, wooden walls, all fairly standard, except there is no jury box.
That's interesting.
You are guided straight to the front row of seating alongside a group of other citizens and Thunder Force officers, and Jensen gives your group a small salute and then steps back up to the front of the room, waiting with her arms behind her back. And then a minute later, you see Valios march his happy bud in and joins her, as does another small squad of Thunder Force officers. And once she sees that the time has reached the top of the hour, Jensen steps forward. All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Fulmo presiding.
Hold on, give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
That's fine. You can probably use a break real quick.
Honestly, yeah, this might be a good time for a pee break.
Yeah, you do that real quick. We'll take 5 minutes. 5-minute break. Commercial break. In case you're wondering, my wife is actually in the room with me, and she's laughing her ass off at that little stupid comment I made. Oh, Zivit says hi. And she says hi back. She had such a heavy involvement in this story. She just likes to randomly come in here and see what's going on and listen to what we say. Welcome back.
I feel so much
BRB
better.
as well.
Alright, so I guess at this point we're just waiting on Ignis to come back.
Well, Raven just left.
Oh,
I don't know why you waited for me to come back to leave, but sure.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't want me to be here by myself.
It's been a good session.
So far, yeah.
It's been fun.
Quick combat, but, you know, you guys made it meaningful.
Well, you see, it's like the combat was kind of a wash, but it didn't feel like a wash. It was all very dynamic and, well, okay. I was gonna say we all did stuff. Ignis didn't get to do much.
He really didn't, but to be honest, when he gets an opportunity to try again, he might do better the next time around. Not to mention,
Yeah.
if his skills get leveled up at some point, he's going to do a lot more. In fact, if he upgrades his stealth skill specifically, he's going to get a little skill-based stunt that makes his damage so much higher.
How
I was
long?
voiced-
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I've procured a drink.
I'm surprised that the emergency shotgun actually did stuff.
Honestly, I did not expect you to do well with that, but when it comes to the bell curve of these dice rolls, higher highs and lower lows means that the range is so much better than when you're dealing with things like D20 rolls.
Yeah. Like, I just got it for the action economy, and if I hit, like, one shot of combat, I'd be happy. And you know what? I hit one very good shot in that combat.
You really
Thumbs up.
did.
You hit one and then miss the other.
It happens, you know? All right, so are we all back and ready to go?
Yes, I got me
Thumbs up.
some cans of RC Cola here.
Nah,
that's a
RC
thing.
Cola?
RC Cola, that's a classic.
Yeah.
You got cans of RC Cola.
I got 2 12-packs. That's
Fair.
what I want to get.
Fair enough. So, as I was saying,
Hey,
the Honorable Judge Fulmo presiding. A door to the side of the room opens, and in steps a raccoon man with a black and silver fur pattern and banded rings, his fluffy tail sticking out the back of his judge's robe, occasionally zapping the open air with electrical discharge. His spiky black and silver hair draws attention to his electric blue eyes surrounded by a faint silver glow. He takes his seat at the podium, grabs his gavel, and gives it one test smack, but the smack has a thunderously loud impact. Thank you, Commander. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I am Judge Fulmo Unseal, Domain Master and Chief Justice. You may be seated. Please call the first case. Now, what comes next is about 90 minutes of very quick and simple proceedings. A supposed criminal is brought out in handcuffs. Fulmo leads a list of charges and asks how they plead for each. Members of the audience stand and state they were witness and or victim to the crimes. Fulmo renders verdicts based on the testimony given rather than letting it go to any form of deliberation. If they're found innocent, they're freed then and there, with advisement to be more careful to avoid a repeat offense, or if they're found guilty, their punishment is declared based on the crimes and are taken away by as many Thunder Force officers as needed. Rinse and repeat every 5 to 10 minutes. Now, some of the punishments are a little odd. You hear the usual fines or jail time, but in one instance, he orders them to work off their debt as an employee of the business they helped destroy in lieu of jail time, under strict supervision.
I mean, it's essentially the equivalent of community service.
In another, he orders a group of college students responsible for destroying several classrooms at the trade school to endure a prison sentence on weekends, specifically so they can still attend the classes they pay for on the weekdays and still keep the jobs they do in the evenings, essentially taking away all their free time until they graduate.
Harsh but fair.
And in one instance with a minor, he orders them to go home and talk out their rebellious issues with their parents.
I think we could use some more of that in today's society. that seems reasonable. Honestly, babes. I like this guy.
That kid got off better than Joseph.
Finally, the last case is called, and out steps Lucky, grinning ear to ear, covered in more bandages than you saw him in the first time. Judge Fulmo opens the document for him, and Speed reads through it. Lucky, as he is referred to, is a repeat offender for multiple counts of property damage, petty theft, and assault and battery. Do we have witness or victim to said crimes here today? And the entire courtroom goes dead silent. There is no need for a roll on this one. Everyone in the courtroom is nervously avoiding eye contact with Lucky and the judge, some of them even wiping sweat from their foreheads.
They're scared of the Marauders. That's why Lucky's been able to
Joseph-
get off scot-free.
Joseph just stares Lucky down from across the court.
So are you guys going to speak out? You're just going to sit there and watch?
I mean, we're here to as far as I mean, we were brought here to what's the word I'm looking for?
A test?
A test. Yeah, we were here to attest. We best get to attesting.
Yeah, whichever one wants to go first. Actually, Chimo's already typing. Let's see what she's got to say.
You know, I could see Chimo as an Ace Attorney character.
You know, I kind of could too. She's got everything she needs to back up everything that she says and does.
Yeah. Dude, Chimo and Ace Attorney art style would go pretty hard.
Chimo and Ace Attorney style. That actually would be kind of killer.
Now we just need somebody to, because it'll be funny.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to make sure that this campaign gets really popular and we get a lot of fans that know how to draw. Don't put that in the video.
Nope, I'm leaving it in there.
Damn it.
Sorry, man. I leave literally everything that I can in these videos, not to pad the time frame, but because it's genuinely funny to have as much context as possible.
This is true. I will agree with that.
If you guys see when you guys see the finished first session, you're going to agree with me that everything that made it in is going to be fucking hysterical.
Well, I might stream this in the, though I might have to do that relatively early, earlier than you.
That's fine. Do whatever you got to do, man.
I remember the last time I was in a TTRPG campaign that was uploaded to YouTube. It was very simple because it was live streamed to Twitch, so the VODs were just uploaded to YouTube with no editing whatsoever. So literally all of the filler and the nonsense got left in.
I still try to leave in as much filler and nonsense as possible. Okay, hang on. Chimo has stood up. Your Honor, may I speak up on this? I assume now how he got free last time, but you don't have to fear that fool. He tried it now twice to destroy the capital city, and yet you treat him like a school kid who forgot their homework. If you ask me, either throw him into the deepest pit hole you can find or do a public execution, but that's up to you, Your Honor. She walks back to her seat and sits down. Fulmo stares at her with one eyebrow raised. For the record, would you please state your name for the court and elaborate on exactly what he did?
Yeah.
Joseph will speak up. Her name is Chimo, and I'm Joseph Gallows. And, well, on 2 separate occasions, he has done nothing but wreak havoc upon the city. Honestly, even I'm surprised at how compliant you are just to set him free and just act surprised as he does the same shit again. You know, any other time, back where we're from, that wouldn't be tolerated. Unless he had a shit ton of money to blow off, but, well, even if he did, third time he isn't getting lucky. If you're not going to jail him, I'll break his kneecaps myself.
Judge Fulmo writes down every single word you say with surprising speed. You could actually see steam coming off the tip of his pen. Thank you for your testimony in this matter. It is duly appreciated. While I do not appreciate the way that you downplay our legal system on this island, I understand that it is not perfect, but we do the best we can with what we have. However, you have given me exactly what I needed. This man has been accused and disciplined for multiple instances of the same kinds of vandalism and criminal mischief in the past, but has been shown leniency to an extent when we can actually get him to come to court. However, he has proven he either cannot change or refuses to, so leniency is no longer available to you. I find you guilty of an indefinitely large number of vandalism and criminal mischief charges in the first degree. Based on the sheer frequency of said charges and full value of property damage, I hereby sentence you to life in Diadem Prison with a possibility of parole based on good behavior no sooner than 25 years. Please take him away. A very angry Lucky is hauled off by Jensen and Valios, glaring at each of you that spoke out with white-hot intensity. This ain't over! You hear me? You're as good as dead!
Joseph will just shout back, "Consider it a mercy. I wouldn't have hesitated to put a bullet between your eyes."
I don't know if you should just say that in the middle of the courtroom. Like, I'm not saying this in character so you can do what you want, but that just seems like a terrible thing to say in the middle of a courtroom.
Well, yeah, but we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Chimo just mocks him as he gets led out by the officers. Lucky's head is then pushed down as 2 more officers grab and shove him out the back entrance you came out of, almost running into 3rd Commander Harkin just outside the door, whom looks very bewildered to see Lucky actually getting taken away.
Nanashi, before we continue, may I ask you a question?
Shoot!
When you were describing how the 2 commanders that weren't Harkin, Jensen and
Valios.
Valios, thank you. I can always remember Valios' name because that's a card and that's a dude in Card Fight Vanguard. When they were grabbing Lucky to first drag him away, and you said someone was glaring, like white hot glaring at us. Did you mean Lucky or the 2 captains?
I meant Lucky.
Okay, I assumed, but The way you worded it, I was unsure.
Sorry, I was trying to get through it quickly. We're a little short on time because Ignister is going to have to take off before too much longer.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Well, I mean,
Chimo,
I could stay for like I could stay for like a little bit longer.
that's fine. We don't have much more to go with this. So, Chimo then stands up and apologizes to the judge about her behavior and that she didn't mean to criticize their system. And Fulmo just raises a hand. It's all right. You're not the first. You won't be the last. Fulmo clears his throat. That is the last case for the day. Thank you all for attending. Fulmo stands from the podium and steps down, sliding on a pair of thin-rim oval sunglasses on to cover his eyes. He heads to the wood gate, but Harkin marches in and asks to speak to him for a quick moment. And you can barely make out Harkin's muttering of shock after the last incident.
Joseph takes note of that and comments, I assume this is the proper first time he's actually been held accountable for his actions.
So it would seem. If I had to take a guess, I'd say they never actually had witness testimony. Everyone seemed scared of the Marauders. Judging by the way everyone else was avoiding eye contact.
They finish their chat rather quickly, and Harkin walks back out the main courtroom door in a hurry, but Fulmo turns to your group, arms folded behind his back as he approaches. I understand you're familiar with Lucky. Shall we walk and talk?
Oh, we'd be right happy to.
He very confidently, not even walks, just kind of strides right inside your group, casually as can be. Truth be told, it is frustrating seeing him walk in and out of my courtroom so often. I appreciate you actually putting him behind bars for the first time in a long time.
We're right happy to do it. Seems everyone else was not willing to speak up.
Well, that's what happens when monsters are enabled this far.
He puts fear in anyone who wishes to speak out against his crimes. The first few times he was convicted, he targeted those that spoke out at his earliest convenience, and after a few attempts, he simply stopped having witnesses to his crimes. So now him coming and going has become a frustrating routine.
Well, we may not be the most perfect guests on your little island, and we may question a lot of your tactics, but we're not going to let monsters slide in the city like that. I sure as hell didn't when I became freelance.
And I appreciate your commentary today. I could see clear as day that you were telling the absolute honest truth.
I mean, you could take a walk out in that city and see it's the honest truth, as much destruction as he and his cronies were wreaking.
It's not so much that. We operate on testimony because in my particular case, not only do we not have the time to have constant and consistent deliberation over every single petty crime these people do, I happen to have a particular talent for seeking out the truth.
Well, nice to hear that I'm glowing with something other than whatever that tiger fella at the library was talking about.
Yeah, Barry kind of has to restrain a chuckle. You've met several people here. One of them said you reeked of time magic, and the other one said you glue with honesty.
I see you spoke
Well, I
to my
fucking
brother.
What?
Well, okay, first off, shocker. Second off, Joseph turns to Barry. I would hope I'm radiating with some honesty, especially after the hell I went through.
I believed every word you've ever told me.
I assume that you're referring to Conroy.
Yeah, that's your brother.
My family is unusual. Let's just leave it at that. But we all do have our unique talents. He pulls down his glasses, and his electric blue eyes charge with silver electricity energy. I can see the electricity the mortal body runs on and have learned over time exactly what parts of their bodies light up when lies are told, be it small fibs or practiced tall tales.
That's both concerning and impressive. Like, I can see now why you wear the sunglasses all the time.
And why I'm the Chief Justice. It's not just because
Also-
I'm the Domain Master, it's because I'm good at what I do. He walks you over to the front entrance that you came in through and offers to shake each of your hands.
We're gonna get Joker hand buzzard, I can feel it. I'm gonna give him the classic Barry handshake.
He takes your hand and has no problems returning the exact same grip strength that you gave him.
Oh, wow, oh.
I believe that one can attest to the kind of grip strength you get when handling firearms for the entirety of your existence.
I'm sorry, sir, man. I shake your hand again. I've never actually met someone with equivalent grip strength as me. That's impressive.
He just kind of smirks a little and offers to do it again.
That's great. That's fantastic.
But at this time when you do it, you notice that your clothes are starting to crackle with electricity. And that is why my entire courtroom is made of wood.
I'd like to poke Ignis. I'm gonna static shock him.
You do, and
don't.
Are you actually gonna let him?
Sure.
When he touches the tip of his free hand's finger right on your nose, your entire outfit lights up with silver for a brief moment before it just starts expanding and contracting against your body. And then you hear the electrical snap as the charge hits the floor right at the tip of his left toe.
I'm gonna mute. I didn't have a laughing fit for a minute.
Chimo takes the handshake and returns it the same as best she can. Let's go home. I have been waiting to go home. Plus, our cute little chicken must be awake by now, and you don't want to have to tidy up its chaos again, do you?
Oh shoot! Actually, you're right.
All right. Well,
Good.
he walks you over to the entrance of the staircase and actually personally guides you back out the gateway the same way you came.
Well, sir, lovely to meet you. We ought to be heading home now.
It's been a pleasure.
Chimo's right. We gotta go take care of our pet.
It's been a pleasure. I assume I'll be seeing you again at some point in the near future.
If Lucky's threats actually have any meaning behind them, probably.
We shall see. We might be able to keep him down this time, given how thorough your descriptions were. Make sure to put him in a lot of chains so that he can't escape, Chimo says before she left with your group. So when you guys walked back through the gate, you notice that the entire area is now simulated nighttime, basically. We can actually pretty much end the session here and now, because it's technically the end of the day of the evening phase, but there is one thing I need to stipulate before we do.
What's up?
Well, when you step out and you see that the glow of the town has gone down, you do see something rather odd. Could you guys give me a quick notice roll so I know who sees this? I'm pretty sure I know who's going to, but I'd like to see who sees it.
Notice roll. What is that under again? Oh, I have +2 in that. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Holy shit, I rolled more than a 0.
Holy crap, you actually did it.
And I still have my fate point in case I fail this, so...
Oh.
God damn it.
Oh, damn.
Uh,
okay, well...
I'm on the ball right now. Hell
wow,
yeah.
not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Okay, I got a mediocre. Yeah, I can just attribute this low notice roll to Joseph still shaking off some things.
You know what? That's completely fair. So Barry ended up rolling the highest.
Yeah.
Basically.
Somehow. You know what? That tracks. I'm gonna like kind of nudge everyone on the shoulders, like, hey, y'all see that off in the distance? And I'm gonna like point to the distance, where like around the outer walls, like, you see all them glows and all the colorful glowing in the distance? Pointing out what I see to everyone.
As opposed to the glow of the overhead that's just bright enough for you to see your way home, you see 11 colorful glows appearing in the distance all along the rock wall outside of Diadem, including a very familiarly placed looking spot on the far right in orange and on the far left in pink.
Oh, you know what? I'm willing to bet that's all the gates. Because it lines up with where the pink domain gate was and the orange domain gate was.
So in the evening, they all light up and are clear to see, like little beacons.
That means there's a domain for each color of magic. We might have to do some more sightseeing. Nanashi, I wanted to ask, our map, it doesn't actually have the domain gates drawn on it, does it?
It does not. That's why I included the overall layout of that up in the server icon instead. I didn't really have the option to do that with the map-making system they gave me.
Yeah. Well, it was more the point of, if that's not listed on our in-game personal map, like, Barry would probably make a point to be like, we probably ought to make note of all this on our map here.
But it is officially getting late into the evening, which means it's time for you guys to go home, make dinner, and probably get some sleep after all the bullshit you've been through.
I mean, all
Yeah,
things
most
considered,
likely.
this was a very good, productive day. Like, it wasn't even that strenuous. The only strenuous thing we did was walk probably the diameter of the city once or twice total.
Pretty much, but the good news is that everything's within a reasonable walking distance, and that was kind of by design.
I mean, it's not. I mean, they had a very limited amount of space to work with. I say that. Can the walls be expanded from? Probably not very far before they hit the magical barrier.
To be perfectly honest, no.
No,
Nope.
the rock just doesn't.
The rock simply does not.
The rock simply does not.
It
Understood.
just stays.
All right, now you guys officially have access to the Silver Domain role, which means you should be able to see the pre-made mini-map of what it looks like if you ever go back.
Yay.
All right, and given the amount of time we have left, I think it'd probably be a good idea if we just go ahead and call it now. Does that sound good to you guys?
Seems fairly reasonable.
All right, well, this has actually been a pretty productive session. It didn't quite last as long as I was hoping for, and I think that's because you guys streamlined that fight like it was fucking nothing.
I mean, if you wanted to go a bit longer, we could have a dinner scene.
Honestly, I would be down for eating dinner around the table with the homies.
You know what? Sure. Let's go ahead and say you guys had dinner. You prepared a meal, a decent-looking meal out of the food that you were given from your to-go travel food. Or did you actually want to go to a restaurant and eat? Because that is an option, too.
Well, I mean, the restaurant... Hold on, let me...
Well, restaurants,
pull up the
plural.
map. Well, yeah, well, I was just gonna say, the restaurants are, on the far side of the city yet again.
And given our current living predicament, this could give us a chance to actually flesh out our characters more via a bonding session.
You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. Let's take an extra 15, at most 30 minutes, and say you guys share a meal somewhere. Any of you guys have a preference as to what you're feeling for food?
No, I don't got a preference.
Well, I'm trying to pull up what restaurants.
Well, just so you know, since you guys went to the northeast, that means that the business district where the restaurants are is actually very close to you, so it would take you all of 5 or 10 minutes to walk there.
Oh, yeah, the business district is north. For some reason, I thought the business district was the far west.
No, that's actually the entertainment area and the essentials district.
That's what that was. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we could since it's directly north. Oh, yeah, we could absolutely head to the business district and go eat out.
All right, so what are you guys feeling? You got about 7 or 8 options here, I think it was.
I mean, I don't really
They
care.
have- Yeah, I'm seeing breakfast, meat, vegetarian, fast food, dessert shops, coffee shop, juice bar, a bakery. Or we could head back to the mall's food court, which, to be fair, would probably just be the fast food.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are looking for a genuinely good meal, you'll probably want to go to a restaurant instead. Otherwise, you're just sticking to more burgers and fries.
Yeah. Would Chinese takeout be an option?
That would qualify as a meat option, so yeah, we could take you to the meat restaurant. They do basically anything meat, fish, poultry based.
Maybe let's not get any chicken. I love this. I love the second everyone took to think about that one. That was great.
It wasn't that. I heard a noise in the background that sounded like a chicken gobbling.
Oh, even better. Pretty sure that's just Ignister laughing.
Yeah, I think I got a bad connection on your laugh.
Yeah.
That was pretty great.
All right, well,
I don't
then
know.
let's
I
say
mean,
you guys
yeah.
get some takeout at the meat restaurant, and we'll get some Chinese-style food. The meat restaurant is overall more designed like a steakhouse with dark brown floors and tables and dark gray tile walls, but serves all manners of meat, fish, and poultry based on the grill smell that you guys are hit with the second you walk in the door. There's multiple people working the place, but the grill itself is manned by a black mamba man under a white chef's outfit with a gold name tag stating Waylon.
Waylon, that's a name I know from another video game.
God.
I'm gonna have to ask you this character's inspiration later.
I'll be perfectly honest, most of these NPCs are just based on random decisions I made on the spot, but the ones that matter, you'll know.
Gotcha, okay.
But in any case, what are you guys ordering?
What is the cheapest item on the menu?
As it happens, pretty much every item that has a portion size is 1Z apiece. Just like the fast food place at the mall.
Well, Joseph is just getting noodles.
Just a good old-fashioned noodle dish?
A meat noodle bowl, basically.
Alright. That's one.
I am getting steamed rice with teriyaki chicken.
They can do that. That'll be two.
We are really leaning into the Chinese takeout theme.
Yeah, I mean, mine as
I
well,
thought
right?
that was just me.
Yeah. Also, you want to know the funny part about that?
What?
I actually do have some rice and teriyaki chicken from literally yesterday in my fridge right now.
Oh, that's nice.
Amazing. The
Real
real-life roleplay.
Real life emulates
You
art.
got that. You got that left over in your fridge, and I got lasagna. What the fuck?
I got breakfast pizza that was just delivered to me a few minutes ago.
Ziv, what is Chimo feeling like eating? Oh, you ordered pizza today? You lucky bitch. Since it's a holiday weekend, I don't even know if there's any places available that will deliver in my area today.
I don't have to worry
I
about it. I have to go back to work tonight.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna get pizza myself today too.
Fair enough. Okay, so Chimo's gonna get the same noodle dish that Joseph ordered. That's fine. And how about you, Barry? What are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling a noodle dish, like a big bowl of ramen with pork in it.
They can do that.
You know?
And will you guys be wanting anything to drink with that, or?
Nah. I got my backpack. I have bottles of water in my bag.
That's true.
Joseph still has his alcohol from earlier this morning.
All right, so just the
he's
food.
fine.
So you guys just gonna eat it here, since it'd be away from your home for a few minutes, and you can share a meal in a nice place. Or you guys just gonna head home and bond there instead?
I'm kind of down for whatever on that one. I'm gonna leave that one to the.
I mean,
rest of the
honestly,
homies.
in the restaurant, in our own little booth, we can socialize.
Yeah, that works for me. All right. So you guys, it takes about 5 minutes for them to throw each of your dishes together, and they charge you 4Z for the total meal, which is 1Z per meal item.
All right. Are we each covering our own dish, or is Barry gonna cover the whole thing?
I mean, it's only 4Z. It's not like it's gonna hurt your wallet too bad.
I mean,
Y'all took
Joseph
too long
is
to
gonna pay
decide,
for
Barry.
his.
Y'all took too long to decide. I've already paid for all of it.
Just drop 4 coins onto the counter before you guys have a chance to say anything. All right.
Barry is that type. It's like, are y'all gonna pay for yours? You took too long. Slaps down the credit card.
All right. Well, everything on your table smells incredible, and just like how Ignis experienced when he was at the fast food place, everything on the table is rich in the purest and most savory flavors you could have asked for. The ingredients are top-notch, the broth is fresh, and even the salt and pepper that you use to accent the food is more flavorful than you expected. Everything here is pristine.
This is just
You
like
know-
what I experienced in the restaurant, or in the other restaurant.
I can kind of see why nobody ever really wants to leave. This is immaculate. This is some good food.
You actually see Waylon walking away with a handful of freshly cleaned dishes, and he just kind of stops and laughs. Well, thank you. I take pride in what we do, and we only use the best ingredients. I picked it up this morning from the farmer's market.
That's awesome. That's
As we do sit around the table, booth thing, whatever shape it is,
Mhm.
because I assume it's something large to accommodate for Barry, most definitely.
Yeah, they have like half booth, half chair areas that you can sit at.
Joseph will just look around and just say matter-of-factly, well, our first full day here, and it's got me thinking, as much as I'm reserved about it, if we're going to be stuck together for the next couple of years, we may as well start getting open with each other, talk more about ourselves, socialize, whatever small tidbits we're ready to share at the moment. Build something if we gotta put up with each other. It glances over at Barry, and, well, thinking it over more, earlier today you did express a lot of questions.
we all have our own interesting backstories, and you definitely drop a lot of really weird hints. Like, I'm still kind of questioning if the zombie tidbit was real. Or was that just a joke?
No, it was real. So, where to even begin with that one? Back in my years as a private, let's just say that I wasn't exactly a part of a normal division per se. But that was one hell of a mission I'll never forget. Basically, Alpha Team was sent to investigate something going on around a nearby village around Poland. But, as you can imagine, they went dark after like an hour. So, being desperate as they were, me and a few other higher-ups were sent there. I know, a private rookie being sent on such a mission when Alpha went dark. But they were desperate, their hands were full, and I was just expendable enough for them. Now, these weren't your average run-of-the-mill zombies. You ever seen Night of the Living Dead? How
Nope.
they depict them? Well, if you've seen any zombie movie in general, basically, the general premise is, well, either some weird magic fuckery ends up altering the world forever, or there's some kind of weird strand of virus that's contracted through bites. No, this was something far worse. What I saw that day, the man-made horrors, the Nazis were experimenting with some form of parasite, if you will. Basically, how do we make our soldiers more subjugated to us? How do we make them deadlier? How do we turn them into monsters?
That's
Damn.
fucked up.
That's heavy.
There's a
This
lot
is
of
some
things...
Resident Evil bit. This has got to be a Resident Evil reference.
I mean, it's inspired, but at the same time, it's like... Joseph isn't going to sugarcoat it. There was a lot of bullshit just kept out of the history books, and this is one of them.
This. Wow.
Needless to say, a lot of the people that accompanied me were not prepared. They either got infected themselves, or they were ripped apart brutally. It was... What went down in that village still hits me hard.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
what-
That is actually really good.
I feel like he deserves a fate point for really good RP.
You know what? I'm going to reward you on that one with an extra fate point that you can use starting on the next session.
Holy shit.
You were compelled
Hey.
by the conversation to take part and share of yourself with everybody around you, and you shared something incredibly meaningful and deep. I'm willing to reward that.
Fair
the-
enough.
Barry's also like, how did that get resolved? I mean, there's not a zombie apocalypse going on, so surely there had to be some resolution to the situation.
Well, that's the neat bit.
Oh,
Well,
Chimo just pointed something out, by the way. In JJK, 2015 is the year where the Shinjuku Showdown happened, or the Shinjuku Showdown happened.
That's funny.
Yeah, wow, I did not
I
realize.
didn't actually watch JJK. So
Honestly,
sure.
I didn't either, but even I know about that event. So that's... You know what's even more amazing? Alice pointed this out not too long ago. We recently found out about where Amelia Earhart's plane crashed, and if the map is correct, it was right around the location that I picked for Evermore Island.
Didn't she crash somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle?
Apparently, it was closer to the southeastern and southwestern basin, which is right around where I planted the island.
So what you're telling me is, if Amelia Earhart got cursed with Joseph's agelessness, she might be here.
She could be, but odds are she probably just died on impact.
I mean, there was also the theory that, like, if she didn't die on impact, she probably got killed and eaten by coconut crabs.
That's true.
Because them bastards don't play around.
Anyway, back to it. Because Joseph was going to answer Barry's question. Well, that's the thankful part of how ferocious these bastards were. How constantly they mutated. It was the sights of them. The moment they mutated, there wasn't even a remnant of humanity anymore. And the fact that some of my comrades who were infected ended up mutating into body horror fucked up constructs of Nazi design. Putting a bullet through their head was even more traumatizing than I thought. But luckily, the these parasites were localized to that one village, and I had to fight day in and day out just to survive. After the event, I wasn't exactly the same per se.
We're pretty much finished. After Joseph shares this incredibly deep and meaningful thing, everyone around the table gets the feeling of, shit, I could have been a lot worse off than this guy. And you kind of finish your meals in something of an awkward silence, but you kind of appreciate the guy a lot more for opening up about something so incredibly traumatic. Like, that's the kind of shit they make a 3-part movie about. And we can call the session here for the day and say this is a fantastic place to stop because you guys go home, you get some rest, and you prepare yourselves for your next day out.
Yay!
So, Zip, if you want to go ahead and take
Sunny
off...
side
go
up
right ahead.
has it. All right.
I was trying to say, Zip, if you want to go ahead and take off, feel free to. We are done.
Ah.
See you next time, man.
Positive.
Well,
Can we just all take a moment and
yes, abso-fucking-lutely.
So like the talk of like the Nazi zombies thing made me think of like two things. One, I forgot the name of that game series, but I do know that, like Hitler was like the main antagonist.
Oh,
Essentially.
Wolfenstein.
Zombie Army Trilogy.
Oh.
Or
Yeah,
the
I think
series
that
in
might be
general.
it.
Oh, listen, I should probably clarify on something, by the way. Barry and Joseph's new non-combat stunts, I should clarify a little bit more on exactly how they function. See, what happens is that they basically cast the specific infusion spells and modify the way they physically work to get these new end results. In Barry's case, he casts the green infusion spell Arrow and uses it kind of like an aerial megaphone. And in Joseph's case, he casts the pink Stellar spell, except it's a tiny little mote that he can throw on people and track where they physically are.
Wait, Joseph actually did get a non-combat stunt?
Yeah, he gained... What was it called again?
Vulture sign.
Basically, because because I'm like thinking I could have a medic skill that's non-combat, but given Joseph's given what he did after resigning from the fight, how he was a freelance mercenary, and a bunch of other stuff that would lead to this sort of sixth sense. Basically, you know how have you ever played the Hitman games?
Yeah.
You know how in Hitman, you're able to see your targets for walls and can basically tell who's friendly and who's no doubt going to shoot or shank you. That's basically Joseph's ability.
And you know what? All things considered, I think it's very appropriate for his character. On that subject, actually, Ignis, did you think of a non-combat skill you wanted to give your guy yet, or are you kind of just waiting?
I haven't thought of anything yet.
I'm not going to lie.
If you could
I'm not going to lie, given your most recent experience, I feel like we could probably do something with that whole Dragonic Cannonball thing you were doing for the entirety of the last session.
Combo stunt, combo stunt, combo stunt.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I was trying to think if there's a way we could use that, non-combatively, where it would allow him to travel farther distances.
I mean, to be fair, we could just do that with I roll physique to throw you to the top of that building. You know what I mean? It's like... I don't know if we need a stunt for it, per
Yeah,
se.
that's really more of an action. I was thinking if there was a way we could make that into something flavorful, given that that's something you guys actually have done in-game, and that would attach it to prior instances that happened during the story, but I don't think there's a way to make that work. But yeah, think on a non-combat stunt that your guy would want to have, and see if you can tailor it into your guys' backstory, and get back to me whenever you feel like it, because after this session, I'm going to have to go and work Sundays for a couple of weeks, so odds are our next session won't even be for another 3 weeks.
Okay.
But I know for a fact that Atlas is starting to get tired because he worked right before he came here.
I mean, in all fairness, a kind of a regular thing that's been happening is on Sundays like this, I've been getting off work an hour earlier, because the first shift that comes in after me are it's the Guatemalan homies, and they're really good workers, but they haven't realized that the schedule has been pushed back an hour, so they still come in at 7 instead of 8.
Oh, well, that's kind of convenient on your part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for
Not to
coming.
mention, stuff usually breaks during the weekend, so usually my weekends aren't too strenuous.
That's fair. Well, in any case, I thank you guys for coming back. I really appreciate it. And be honest with me, now that you've had a full first day, do you kind of get the idea of what you're supposed to be doing now?
A bit, yeah.
I mean, I don't necessarily know what we're meant to be doing per se. I know what I want to do.
That's essentially what I was asking.
Yeah,
Do you guys know what your basic goal in this place is going to be outside of just kicking Marauder butt on rare occasion?
Well, I would also assume basic exploration, given that there's more areas to sightsee. But I
Yeah,
assume
I
there's
mean-
more than that as well.
I want to go see the rest of the domains now. Also, I really appreciate you using like the kind of medieval spelling of the word domain instead of like domain. It's domain.
I don't like the way domain works. I feel like JJK kind of ruined the terminology for domain. I feel like domain makes a little bit more sense because it's a vast, unending expanse, which is essentially what you're dealing with whenever you go in one of these places.
Yeah, I agree. Thumbs up.
So, with that in mind, if you're actually intent on exploring these, do you have any idea where you might want to go for your next one?
I don't know why, but part of me just wants to go see Miranda again. Be like, what the fuck happens?
Are you sure about that? Because if you want to do that, we can do that on the next session.
I will wingman the ever-loving shit out of you.
You know what? Fuck it. That's what we're doing next session.
Okay.
Honestly, if you guys had more time, we could have gone ahead and done it now as like a nighttime extra special recording.
Ignis did not make it home that night.
I didn't make it home. I just stayed.
Ignis walks home in the morning,
You know what? I'm going
limping and in
I'll
pain.
I will say this. If you are really intent on doing that, we could, at some future date and time, just you and I, have a private personal session where you and I just talk about this and we create a special scene and basically include it as part of this prior session where you take some of your nighttime away and basically deny yourself a little bit of sleep and go see Miranda on your own. If you really want to do that, we can do that.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that another day then, and I'll be sure to set it up so we can record it and everything. This could actually be kind of fun.
All
You know what
right.
just occurred to me? We didn't use any of the sound effects during the combat.
Yeah,
I was shooting people with shotguns.
I will be adding that in afterwards since you guys didn't use them. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be funny.
Yeah,
I love doing dumb Discord soundboard
I'm just-
shenanigans.
Aside from the eventful day, I'm really glad that my story came off as good as it did.
Are you kidding me? Your
Because-
story is phenomenal.
Oh, that was great. That was emotional.
Dude,
It was compelling.
like, I have been setting up stories for certain characters on the off chance you actually meet them, and some of them are incredibly deep. Yours was hella passionate.
No, it was spoken. Like it was told with the emotion. Like in that moment, I need you to understand. I did not hear Raven role playing a broken military man. I heard a broken military man with. I heard a broken military man.
Uh,
No, that was great. That was fantastic.
I'd say this is probably a good time to stop recording as well, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Thank you guys for coming back for another session of this game. I am genuinely happy you're enjoying it so much, and I'll see you guys in the next session. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye, Nanashi.
Bye.
This is a special after-hours nighttime scene that occurred after everybody already went to sleep, because apparently somebody was interested in doing something special while everybody else was distracted. So what are we dealing with here?
Okay, so first things first. We're going outside of the pink gate.
All right, so you're heading down to Madame Miranda's gate. All right, and what's the plan?
Ignis just takes a deep breath and then goes in.
All right, so you snuck out of the house in the middle of the night to go and see Miranda while everything was dark. That's a very bold decision. When
Well, I
you
mean, if I manage to run into like any marauders, then well, I should be fine.
That's fair. Well, when you step inside the gate, the entirety of the room looks relatively the same, except this time it's a little bit more empty. All the snack tables, then the bars are gone. The doors against the back wall are still there, but the guiding ropes are now absent. And you actually see Miranda standing in the middle of the room, and her hands are waving through the air, encoded in pink magic. And there are various objects just floating up and around in the air around her. You see pieces of wood, fragments of curtain, and fold-up chairs folding themselves in midair, all slowly collapsing in to a single neat little pile off to the side. She is actually cleaning up her own stage show. So she's right there. What are you gonna do?
Just approach her, I guess.
Well, when you approach her, you notice that she's wearing a bit of a different outfit. Beforehand, she was wearing that fancy dress, but now she's switched over to more of an airy white blouse with a black mesh space in the front for very obvious reasons. And she spots you out of the corner of her eye. Oh, look who it is.
I came here to talk.
I'm all ears.
So, at night, I noticed these beacons that came from, well, areas such as this. What's up with that?
Oh, right. Okay. To put it simply, that is the town's night lights, I guess you could say. The gate's glows are relatively difficult to see during the daytime, but at night, they shine about as bright as any well-made bonfire.
And what else can you tell me about this place?
You mean my humble abode, or...
Diadem as a whole.
Well, there's not really much I can tell you. But what I can tell you is this. This entire island and every single domain has a unique and magical purpose, all of which is, at this moment, designed to keep you and your little friends and everyone else on this island alive and thriving for as long as possible.
I see. And another thing that came to my mind. When I went to get some food, I noticed that some of the employees have brought up that they grew their own food.
Mm-hmm.
How exactly were they able to?
Oh, I see. You didn't happen to spot a farm on your map, did you?
I know.
The simplest explanation is that if there's something not on the map, it might be in a domain.
So areas such as this can grow food.
Not this one specifically. Every domain has a different purpose. For example, I believe you visited my brother's domain, Conroy, yes?
That is correct.
From a desert, I'm sure you can imagine that much sand could be turned into glass.
Yeah, I imagine so.
My domain is more about providing atmosphere. And you see her slowly starting to walk around you in a circle. I enjoy the idea of people finding closeness. All I really want is for everyone to find someone special that they can spend their time with. And in my eyes, the easiest way to do that is to start by looking damn good. Wouldn't you agree?
I guess so.
You yourself are a prime example of this.
Well, I haven't exactly been told this back home.
Well, maybe not back home, but around here, you should probably expect a special someone or someones to stop by your door and say hello sometime.
Well, so that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, give it time, as my brother would say. Did you have any more little curiosities for me?
Not any that comes to mind right now. And Ignis is just sweating bullets right now.
Well, there might be one more little tidbit of information I can give you, but it's kind of top secret.
How exactly am I going to get that information?
Well, we could play a little game. No, a challenge.
What kind of challenge in mind?
A very special one that I'm penchant to for only a select few. If you win, I'll give you a nice little prize. If you don't, well, all I'll require as consolation is a few moments of your time. Does that sound fair?
Yep, sure. That sounds fair.
She extends her hand, palm up, and just smirks at you.
And I reach out to grab it.
She grabs your hand, pulls you full into her embrace. The next thing you hear is a stomp. You hear the casting of some kind of magical effect, but you can't see what. And then she immediately releases you in such a way that you stumble backwards. But you cannot see what kind of place you're in. The room is almost completely dark, aside from some faint pink lighting across the top of the ceiling. And you can't quite see it, but you feel a fingertip against your chest pushing you backwards, and you fall back onto something large and soft. And you can't quite see her, but you can tell she is right in front of you. And she utters a phrase in your ear. I challenge thee. And the next thing you see is a bright pink glow expanding outward from her feet and very briefly illuminates the space that you are in. You are in a lavish bedroom.
Can I, get an explanation?
She smirks at you and says, your challenge is to satisfy. Now, I'm going to need you to give me 3 rolls.
Okay.
I need a physique roll.
Okay, so do I have anything in physique? Nope.
If it ends up being a straight roll, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world.
Aww.
Oh, damn. All right, let me do one for Miranda real quick. Nope, she won that one. Tell you what, give me an athletics roll this time. Now, ordinarily for these circumstances, I would not allow it, but you do have stealth, which I think we can consider applicable for this, so go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Okay.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, you actually beat her on that one.
Yay.
Now let me think. We need one more roll for the tiebreaker. Give me a will roll.
I don't think I have like any modifiers for that, so I almost sent it in the player chat.
Oh.
Mediocre.
Okay, well, honestly, it could have been a lot worse. Let me see about
True.
her will. Oh, damn, she beat you.
Aw.
Sorry, dude. So,
That's fine.
so here's what happens from here. You are basically at Miranda's place all night.
Oh boy.
In the morning, when you wake up, the room itself looks like something straight out of an adult film. You're on a giant circular bed on a platform under a series of ceiling mirrors showing just how thorough she was with you. But beyond that are ordinary-looking cabinets and dressers partly open to reveal an immense wardrobe of clothing. When you actually wake up, she is sitting on a nearby couch with a plate of food. She's actually eating steak and eggs, and she smiles at you. Hungry?
Yeah. It just takes a bite.
It's rich in flavor. It tastes like it was just pulled off the animal earlier this morning, and it was grilled with absolute panache and flair.
It's just like the other times.
I can't say I'm surprised. Most likely my brother had a hand in this one too.
Ignis just continues eating it.
Now, I'll be perfectly honest. I am aware that I am not exactly an easy girl to please, but for what it's worth, you did pretty good. Now, I can't offer you the prize that I promised you, but take this to heart. I don't offer that to everybody. Only very special cases.
I see.
And the two of you just kind of enjoy a quiet meal. No flirting, just the two of them enjoying a simple steak and egg breakfast together. But you do notice as you're eating that your clothes are a little mangled. There are rips, there are tears, and you're pretty sure that there are marks all over your skin where it's exposed.
Guess I should have bought some new clothes when I had the chance.
I can take care of that for you. She lifts a finger encoded in pink magic, and you see spools of thread and needles expertly swirl around you and instantly patch up every single mark on your outfit. And if you take a look at the back of your left hand, where your glove is, you'll actually see a small flower symbol on it, no differently than how some of the other clothing in the island has.
This flower.
Do you like it? It's a desert cactus rose.
I see.
It's my personal favorite flower. Beautiful, but dangerous. I think you'd agree it fits.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I should let you get back to your friends. They're probably waking up around now. But as a consolation of my own, you can keep the little trinket. She points to her neck and raises one eyebrow at you with a grin. You didn't notice this before, but there is a weight around your neck.
Oh.
There's a mirror nearby if you want to take a look.
Yeah.
What she has added to your outfit, which most people probably wouldn't even notice with all the blacks and reds that you wear, is that there is a simple, thin black collar sitting on your neck with a small pink gemstone glowing the exact same shade of pink as her magic, sitting right in the center.
What is this?
That little trinket will give you resistance to all future stellar magic, so long as you wear it. I'm sure I'll be seeing you again soon.
Yeah.
And from there, you are left to go home on your own. It's about 7:30 in the morning, so true to her word, everyone at your house will be waking up right around the time you get in the front door.
I'm just gonna head back so I don't worry anyone.
Perfectly fine. And what we will do is when we start the next session, we will start it off with them waking up and gathering in the living room, and that's when you're going to come in the door.
Okay.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that went about what I expected.
Well, to be fair, you got 1 out of 3.
True. She do be a very hard woman to please.
Yeah, no kidding.
In more ways than one.
Uh-huh. Well, hey, you didn't walk away empty-handed, I guess.
True. That is true.
All right, I guess I'll go
What would
ahead.
have Wait, what would have happened if I matched for at least one roll?
If you had matched her and the rolls ended up being like 1.5 to 1.5, we would have had to re-roll on a completely unrelated stat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there would have needed to be a tiebreaker.
No, okay. Well, but I didn't get the top secret information, but I got something neat at the very least.
You got some information.
True.
You know, I think it would be incredibly funny if you forgot that you were wearing that and somebody noticed it.
Yeah, it actually would.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm probably going to have everyone make a notice roll when they first wake up, and whoever rolls the highest, aside from you, obviously, would be pointing it out.
Yeah. Honestly, fair.
So was that okay?
Yeah, that was okay.
All right. I didn't want to lay into it too hard. That was not my intention. Honestly, I don't think anybody would have done any better than you. I mean, Barry probably could have gotten the physique role, and Chimo probably would have gotten the athletics role, but I'm pretty sure the rest of them would not have done any better on the other two.
Yeah, especially since what were the other two? Will and
It was academics. It was athletics, physique, and will.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we got all we needed. So I guess I'll see you in a few weeks for the next session.
Yeah.
Alrighty. See you next time.
All right. Bye.